Lads, ladies, gents, ladetts, whoever, whatever, welcome back to another video. I would say I'm not a person to get addicted to a lot of things. However, one thing that will always get my brain to become a bit of a degenerate is puzzles. For whatever reason, I adore doing them and figuring out the logic behind them. Why is this important? Because today's game that was kindly gifted to me for free through keymailer, as I will always disclose, Toggle Tile hits an itch in my brain that I didn't know needed to be scratched. From solo developer El Hazor, to whom I am very sorry because I've probably butchered your name terribly, Toggle Tile is a game that sees you attempting to light up all the squares in a grid. On paper it sounds super simple, however it gets very complicated very quickly in the best way possible. You'll have a 3x3 grid, with each of these tiles having their own little grid drawn upon them. Some of them will have absolutely nothing there, different symbols, or even squares. If they happen to have a square in the top right corner and you click on that tile, the top right corner of the main 3x3 grid will now light up. However, if you toggle it again, all of a sudden it will be no longer lit up. Again, on paper it seems super easy, but eventually these tiles will need to be moved around and even rotated, creating more and more possible solutions. Where the addictive nature really kicks in for the game is attempting to solve these in as few movements as possible. Although the early puzzles aren't going to cause any headaches, by the time you start having to move tiles around, you might find that you need to take an extra couple moves in order to solve it the first time. However, upon seeing that it took more moves than someone else, if you're like me, that competitive nature will kick in and you will either try to equal or beat their score. Now, let's be real, odds are you're probably not going to beat top score because someone will have done it in as few moves as possible, but I'll be damned if I don't try. What really separates Toggle Tile from a lot of other puzzle games that I've played over the years is the game's presentation and the overall level layouts. Level layouts? What do I mean by that? Well, the further you get into the game, you'll notice arrows encompassing around the puzzle that you have to complete, which lead to different puzzles, basically sending you down a maze to beat while also having you beat the original grid, meaning you're solving two puzzles simultaneously without even noticing. It's a little detail, but it really helps the game stand out to me. As for the presentation, Toggle Tile goes for what I would best describe as a minimalistic approach overall. You aren't going to see over-the-top flashy animations, background designs, or anything crazy. What you are going to see is a game conveying its information to you in the most straightforward way possible. However, it doesn't mean it's actually boring to look at, because there are plenty of different color options that you will gain access to as you progress. The game's music is also a massive plus for me. Written by JD Sherbert and Abstraction, this jazzy, energetic soundtrack really creates an enjoyable ambience that you might not expect in a game of this nature. It makes the game overall a super relaxing time, even if you find yourself getting a little frustrated while you're trying to figure out a puzzle. With this said though, there is more to the game than just puzzles, with there being two additional game modes, with that being an editor where you can create your own puzzles and player puzzles where you play other people's creations. Additionally, EL let me know that there might be PvP of all things that has been suggested many times to him, and he is currently working on it. Initially, I was confused as to why someone would want PvP in this type of game. However, the more I think about it, the more potential it has. Imagine getting effectively a small playlist of 5 to 10 puzzles. Whoever solves it in the fewest moves and the fastest time wins that round. I honestly think there's a fair bit of potential there. I also asked EL what inspired them to make a puzzle game in the first place, to which they responded, "I've developed mainly puzzle games and I'm intrigued by the thought process of people as they try to figure them out." They further went on to state, "I started developing this game because Google Play is deactivating inactive accounts, so I needed to release something. I then got good feedback on Toggle Tile and thought I'd give it a shot. And I can personally say that I'm glad they did. As I mentioned before, the game scratches an itch I didn't know I had. But EL didn't stop there when it came to the base game, as outside of a potential PvP that they've mentioned to me, they want to give players the ability to have more freedom to create puzzles beyond what the editor already allows for, which makes me really think this game is going to have incredible longevity, because sadly, most puzzle games tend to be forgotten fairly quickly once the puzzle's been solved. There's really not much reason to return, so I definitely hope they find a way to make this work. Finally, I did ask EL if he had any other projects that he might want to share, even if they're only concepts for now, to which he let me know that they're thinking of an incremental roguelike. However, since they've only done 2 tiny prototypes for game jams in the past, it might be something they leave till down the line. Also, potentially an incremental gear placing game, which I could see being a lot of fun, if not at least very satisfying to solve once you see everything in motion. I know this is a bit of a shorter video compared to others, but don't take that as a sign, as the game isn't worthy of your time. If you're a puzzle lover like myself, Toggle Tile is honestly a must-play in my book, and you won't go wrong trying the game out for yourself when it launches on the 28th of March 2025. It will be available on Steam for Windows and Linux, and thankfully it doesn't require crazy specs, so pretty much everyone should be able to play it. So with that, lads, ladies, gents, ladettes, whoever, whatever, it brings us to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed this look at Toggle Tile. Quick question, you ever say a word so many times it feels like it's not real to you? Because that's me with Toggle Tile and puzzles after this video. I feel like I said it a lot. I know the game seems very simplistic when I explain it, but it's one of those, if you play it, you'll understand how good and the potential it has as a puzzle game. So please do give it some love. Also, again, I just want to give a quick thank you to keymailer and to EL for providing me the key for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you want to go the extra step, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you want to go that extra mile, you can support me on Ko-fi, Patreon, or YouTube memberships like these lovely people here. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.